84 yon kwa baba daily update TV na message send na oba channel iso hit adoma na subscribe button like the share ma wana epe semi bi etie so enya bi etie na message oba jebre ni adaje ni abodra nsem nim na ne den sama etwagu no ye de mo ensem nyina ebebra mo na ye bodra ensem nim a yes lawyer Martin Kpebu well to papa wa dismantle afenyo mark in NPP minority ni chache. Say the condition of the Chief Justice case, you know. Ma Worsen no cra, ma Worsen case no cra. Na, well, Yamungram na inti so the inti watcher say, afenyo Mike and some of the NPP minorities, you know, or ma Worsen, the Chief Justice case no cra no, yinti yaba, the Akabia no yenso ya de munsemuna ebebremo.
Were asked to stand aside for the investigations to go on. Mr. Kanse, as we speak now, so, you know, the matter is that citizens have heard, you know, I'm not talking about the petitions because the law says we shouldn't talk about the petitions, okay, even though we've sent but I'll just go with the NPP's own press conference and also the management letter. Management letter you referred to was the last week.
And in fact, before we even getting to that, because I referenced the management letter, you also referenced as well, and the audit there was an audit as well, which we have seen. But then the MPP's position is that the petitions and the details they have seen, they describe it as frivolous and feeble. I mean, is that doing the Chief Justice's case any good?
No, it's absolutely damaged her case, all right, at least in the court of public opinion. Remember, this is how it started. When they came and made those allegations, I predicted that based on the way they've insulted the intelligence of the petitioners and their lawyers, the petitions would leak. And you see, truly, the petitions have leaked. I also predicted that the other side will come out and counteract. You see, they've come out to counteract. Then you've seen the management letter based on the audit, right? So it's the NPP that have damaged Chief Justice Torkornoo's case. They've damaged it. It lacked tact. Yeah, what they did lacked tact. It's just like it was a bit of rabble-rousing. Let's just go and make some noise. Just shake the kaleidoscope. But it's not every time you just say, let's make some noise. Just shake the get a good result. No, it's not, because it is not a case against the MPP. It is a case against somebody the Kpebu appointed. So they should have seen that distinction. But they didn't, and they ran into the arena of the conflict, and they have damaged the case. Because by referring to the petitions as frivolous, and yet they said the Chief Justice had to refund 75,000 Ghana cedis. That's what lawyer Daku said. The MP for Swami, that is lawyer Daku, the one who took over from Oseche Mensabos. They said the Chief Justice had refunded 5,000. Well, refund meaning that think something should be possibly right. Yes, it's a less fund. Meaning you've come into some funds that you shouldn't have come into, and so you've returned it. Then they also went ahead to say that the person going to take over from Chief Justice Torkornoo is an NPC sympathizer. I mean, how would Afenyo Market lawyer that when the rest do that? How do you bastardize the judiciary like that? Okay. So they have caused Justice Torkornoo's case a great deal of harm and lack tact.
Okay. Lawyer Kpebu, hold a bit for me. And lawyer Xavier Kuji speaks for the Ghana Bar Association. Let me acknowledge the fact that Abraham Amaleba has left us a while ago. He's going to attend to another equally important event. I've been joined as well by Godwin Eduji Tamaklo, acting CEO of the NPA. He's a private legal practitioner as well. He is joining us on Zoom. He was supposed to be with us in studio, but also had to attend to a very, very important development this morning. Mr. Tamaklo, good morning. Welcome.
And good morning to my co-panelists, and good morning to Worsen.
Great. Lawyer Xavier Kuji, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning and good morning to everybody.
The Ghana Bar Association issued a press statement on the suspension of the Chief Justice. Exactly what are your concerns in there?
Thank you for the opportunity. Our concerns are that it appears the discussions on this whole exercise have taken a political dimension. Nobody has so far said that the president has not triggered a provision in the Constitution. So our position is that why don't we all restrain ourselves, allow the process to be followed through to the logical conclusion, then the committee set up by the president will come up with his decision. If the decision, I believe, will be put in the public domain, then we'll get to know even the real content and of the petition. But now, people are relying on a certain leaked set of documents, and they say that is the petition. What if at the end of the day, the petition before the committee, it is not what is in the public domain, or it is not exactly what is in the public domain? So we are just saying that let us allow the process to be followed through, because it's a constitutional process that has been triggered.
I see. Now, but if you say that it's taking a political dimension, yes, in what sense exactly? Because you acknowledge that the president is following due process, no?
Yeah, there appears we've lost the import of what is going on. It's the politics that is being discussed. I've followed through discussions on this. In the first place, why should we be discussing this? It's not as if this will take forever. At the end of the day, a committee will bring out its decision. Then we can begin the discussions. Those who don't even agree with the work done can go to court. But it's as if it's the politicians down that are trying to do what they want to do. Some want to go on demonstration. I'm wondering how you use demonstration to solve a legal problem. Let us not forget that when Uncle Abunati Dan had his issues then, people demonstrated. But at the end of the day, he still has to serve his term. So I don't see why we are doing all this. My concern has to do more with the lawyers. Some lawyers are even drawing conclusions. Once the committee has not even done any work, once no formal release of the petitions have been done, so you are relying on a leaked document which you think is a version of the petitions as a lawyer and drawing conclusions. That is unfortunate. That's where the concerns lie.
Well, but then again, what is the consequence or the impact of said political, as you put it, commentary on the process, which really is at play, as you have acknowledged that so far the president has done nothing wrong in following what the Constitution says?
Yes, those who believe that the president shouldn't have done what he's done or shouldn't have is not following the process are in court. So if the people want to go to court, I think they can go. But you see, this comment have the potential of influencing the process. That is the concern. Don't forget that the 5-member committee members, the members of the 5-member committee are also Ghanaians. They are not living elsewhere. So they listen to all we say. I believe they will do the right thing. That is why we encourage and entreat them that they should ensure the rule of law is at play. That is why everybody should keep calm. Let's restrain ourselves. At the end of the day, the outcome will be made known. Let's remember that the Chief Justice is still the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. She's just been suspended for purposes of the investigation going on. So nobody should think that the mere fact that she's been asked to step aside means that she's being removed. It is only when the committee comes up with a recommendation like that.
Well, but you talk about the committee. I mean, the Constitution, I mean, the membership of the committee, these are persons, you would say, have impeccable record for the task at hand? No?
No, they are human. They have their limitations, but if you take the 2 judges, for instance, I believe the Constitution, the framers do not just recommend judges for the fun of it. They know judges are trained for a special purpose, and they are going to bring their training to bear on the process. The other 3 who are non-lawyers will also do that, and will also do that. So I am just saying that let's stay off, allow them to do their work. At the end of the day, you have the opportunity to do all the criticism you want to do, to even go to court. because their decision is subject to the decision of the court. So why are we rushing?
No, but the conversation, at least from what we've been having on this platform so far, hasn't gone into so much of the details of the said petition.
Some lawyers have come out to say that, according to their analysis, no prima facie case should have been established. Why should a lawyer be saying that? What is an ongoing process? In the middle of it, you are drawing conclusions. I think it's not the best to do, professionally.
I see. And you're saying that you carry out your mandate to defend, strengthen and enhance the justice delivery system in Ghana in the midst of all what is happening. What exactly are you going to be doing?
If you read the opening sentence of our statement, we say we've been closely monitoring the process. So for us, if there is a process that ought to be followed, is not followed, we'll have to intervene when necessary. But so far, I don't think that anybody should raise those issues. We should allow the process to go on. So all we're saying is that we will not sleep. We'll be alert to make sure that the process is followed through. That is why we even encourage and entreat the committee members to work within the ambit of the law so that at the end of the day, the rule of law will prevail. Because it is really Ghanaians who have made these laws for ourselves, including the Constitution. It's not any other person from anywhere.
Well,
so we have to respect the laws.
And rightly so. I know you're following the discussion, so stay with us on it. And I know that the Ghana Bar Association, you're having your mid-year conference, which you are at now, reason why you couldn't join us in the studio. But kindly stay with us because I'm going to come back to you. Lawyer Digita Maklo, bringing on this, especially because of that particular point that Lawyer Xavier Koji makes and the GBA essentially talking about the politics of things. He acknowledges that due process is in place. I asked a question about the consequence or the impact of the politics that he's concerned about on the due process that is at play. Is there any real concern in there?
Okay, so once again, I want to say good morning to my learned senior Kuje. Having said that, I think that in a democracy, once these events are happening within a democratic society, the question of conversation and debate, you cannot take it away from that. I think what possibly we should maybe look at is whether the conversation is intemperate, whether the conversation are happening within the confines. Because you see, one of the cardinal principles of the 1992 Constitution.
If you could sit back a bit for me, sit back a bit. Sorry. Yes.
Is it better?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So, like I pointed out, one of the cardinal principles of our democracy is the question of transparency, probity. The word probity means to, as it were, probe. How do you do the probing? Is the conversation like we are having. So the current democratic dispensation allows Efosenyo to probe. It allows Malene Sitnia Kuje to probe. In fact, always remember that the Ghana Bar Association is just an association of lawyers. They have the right to speak like they are doing. So Ghana Medical Association should also have the right to speak. The only thing that is expected of all of us, that we speak within the confines of the law. So in that sphere, the president who received the petition, what has been his conduct relative to these matters? Is it one within the confines of the law? If so, then let's allow the law to take hold. In fact, I saw a video where Her Ladyship, now suspended Chief Justice, Mrs. Gertrude Torkornoo Asaba, made a point, Saki, made a point that, listen, people can make the noise, but the law is the law. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, democracy allows for noise making. That is what really shapes democratic society. And so, like I've read in the GBA letter, all that they are saying is that Those who have discretion to exercise must exercise that within the confines of the law. Those who have, or the stakeholders in this engagement must remember that we are working within the strictures of the law, nothing more, nothing else. First of all, the communication from the Honorable Felix Fosu-Kwakye announcing that the President is in receipt of some petitions and that same will be forwarded to the Council of State for them to perform their constitutionally mandated rule relative to the impeachment process has always been very measured. You notice that in the statement, very terse, the President is in receipt of this straight.